some of the COVID restrictions, although they're not quite as restrictive, but we still will have in some locations benches one behind the other, and in other locations bench officials will just be spread out a little bit more. So we still need to adhere to whatever the government requirements are around that. So we've still have the rolling subs for this year. So obviously the rolling substitution form will be filled in by scorer 2 again. And the timer 2 will be doing the calling for scorer 1 as per last year as well. One change that we are making is the reintroduction of the scorer 2 running score sheet. So scorer 2 will be required to do the running score sheet and the rolling subs. It's been put on an A3 page side by side, and all clubs should have that in their pack of documents they've received from Netball Tas.
Do you want me to share that now?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So what we found last year that there was on several occasions, there was an error in the scorer 1 sheet, but there really wasn't a way of being able to identify where that error occurred without some other referencing document. And that has always been the scorer 2 run sheet. So we need to actually implement that again. So the fact that we've put it side by side on an A3 sheet, it should be, the scorer 2 should be able to swap quite easily between each sheet. We did run this system for the final series for the RACT insurance netball in 2020, so it can be done. There were occasions during the season last year where we actually did both sheets by scorer 2 as well. So it may seem a little bit daunting, but it is achievable. It's able to be done, and bench managers just need to make sure that they are keeping on top of the changes that are happening and making sure that scorer 2 is keeping up with that as well. Just bearing in mind that those changes that the teams are making, the teams are still required to lodge change sheets. We really need to make sure that our practice is consistent across the state in this area, in that any shooter changes need to be brought to the score bench immediately that the shooter change takes place. Any other on-court players that change during the quarter should be recorded at the time, but then lodged with the score bench at the end of the quarter. And any changes for the subsequent quarter should be to the score bench at the beginning of the next quarter. So we just need to make sure that we're keeping on top of that. And if they're coming in that sequence, it's an easy sequence to follow. Bench managers just need to make sure that they keep the change sheets in order, with a numbering system, a lettering system, whatever works for you for each team, so that you can keep them in order as to when the changes are actually occurring.
Yeah, I think those change recordings, that's really the team manager's role, but the bench manager can certainly encourage them to be sticking with that process if they're not. Yeah. Sure that we have any team manager. Sharon might be on. So she's a team manager, so that's certainly a message I'll reinforce.
Yeah, but bench managers are with each of the clubs, so I'd encourage you to speak with your club committees or however your structure is around how that process needs to happen, and so that it gets passed on to team managers. It certainly makes it more efficient and an easier process if everybody's doing the same thing across the state. Otherwise, there's not any changes. We're still running at 15-metre quarters, the same interval times. Injury times are the same. still a horn for the end of each quarter. Umpire alerts that we used. I believe we've got 3 across the state with the dual umpire alerts. So they should be being used wherever possible.
Michelle?
Yeah.
If the first game's running late, what's the minimum countdown for the open game? We can give them
19 minutes.
19 minutes.
minimum
Yeah.
19, right?
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows.
That's it then. What's the name?
Yeah, so there will be a pushback for the games that are due to start at 3:30 on Saturday, just because there'll be that small gap for the opening ceremony. But we'll ensure that they get the minimum warm-up requirements by ensuring that 19 minutes goes on the clock.
Yeah.
Just so I know if the first game's running quite late, we still got to give them.
Still give them 19. My word, you do.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the
fine.
same again as last year. So 19 minutes.
Just checking.
All good. Good things to check. Any other questions, queries?
Well, it's not really a question on bench, but do you know if there's a new bench officials manual since 2019?
No, not that I'm aware of, Liz.
I haven't looked, but I thought you might know.
I was only looking today, and there isn't a new one on the Netball Australia website.
Thank you.
Nothing's come across my desk either, only the SSN one that has a whole heap of stuff that's not relevant to us.
Yeah, which is always helpful.
Probably good for SSN, but
I'm sure it is.
not so great in TAS.
Are we still using the hooter, or are we working on the horn? Oh yeah, that's what I mean. The horn.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
horn.
we're still using that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
She just said that.
Did you? Oh, sorry. I must have been having a seniors moment.
Yeah.
That's all right, Yvonne. Yes, still using the horn.
Good day.
Look, I wrote it down.
Go on. That'll
Do
be
we
right.
want to have a look at the A3 scorer 1 sheet, just not to intimidate anyone, but just so we remember what it looks like in case it's not something that you look at every day?
Yeah, go for it.
Keep saying it, but go ahead.
I've been looking this afternoon.
Oh, doing your research. Well done.
I was setting my book up, and I thought, whoops, I better get it all done.
Very good. I mean, I'll just say it is very handy that Netball Tas now have all the score bench forms actually on the website. So, I mean, obviously you can only print them out and you can't do them in triplicate, but just the fact that they're there and available to be able to print out for anybody that's doing training or, you know, doing some practice or anything like that, it's quite useful to have them all there. So that's really good.
Okay.
So yeah, nothing's changed there. Team list should come in alphabetical surname order. They don't always, but they need to go on the A3 sheet in alphabetical surname order with just the initial beside it. Positional changes on this sheet, the ones that definitely need to be recorded are the shooter changes. I'm not so worried about any of the other changes being recorded on this sheet because they will be recorded by the scorer too. So just to make sure that you've got the starting 7 for each quarter on this form and any shooter changes that happen during the quarter. But other changes can be recorded just by scorer too. Any other questions in relation to this form?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
No, that's 7 seconds. That's long enough. Sorry, everyone. You're under some time pressure here.
I've got a question in regards to the uniforms that we have to wear.
Yep.
I was given some green tops, t-shirts. Do we still use the old RACT fleecy jumpers over the top of those?
Yes, absolutely. More than welcome to. It's not often going to be warm enough for just a polo, so absolutely go for the jumper over the top.
No.
But if you have people that don't have the RACT,
And what happens?
go with just a standard kind of navy or black top, whatever people are going to be warmest in.
Yeah.
Kind of
So
still
so
new.
is it okay to give out is it okay to give our regular bench people a top
Yes, absolutely.
to take home so they don't have to be
Yeah.
sharing tops? Yep,
Yes,
cool.
yeah, that's the idea
Excellent,
of
thank
you
you.
guys holding on to it. So the regulars should all have one, and then that eliminates the sharing. So and we're still we're still encouraging bringing your own stationery as well, just to reduce the sharing of stationery. It's not as strictly policed, and it's we don't say it's forbidden, it's discouraged, but yeah, we'd obviously prefer people to be using their own stationery and comfortable without sharing. So that's part of the plan as well.
Hi, Kirsten. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I ask? It's Patsy here from Kingston. Can I ask? We shouldn't be sharing these tops and wearing them under COVID rules.
No.
I've asked my people. Did you just say that? Because I lost it a bit for a minute.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
We gave out the polos to clubs to manage themselves and encourage them to give regular bench volunteer workforce a top to keep for themselves to eliminate the sharing. And then those that don't have the RACT fleecy top, rather than share, just wear a navy or black jacket to be warm enough and still look like they're part of the bench crew.
Yeah, I've just told mine to wear a black top or black jacket.
Yeah, that's fine. It all looks pretty neutral.
Yep, good.
That'd be great, thank you. Here you are, Patsy.
Green, not too bad.
You're the model, bench manager model.
Sorry?
You're the bench manager model here, Patsy.
Bench madam. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. I see that. Where did you take that? I thought that was Laura when I looked at it.
No, we snuck that in there last year.
Oh, God.
So do we just want to have a quick run through, Michelle, of the timing jobs?
Yep, so nothing's changed there. Timer 1 will still have the umpire alerts and be in control of each quarter, each interval, any playing stoppages, filling in the stoppage form, recording any injuries, etc., and the horn at the end of each quarter. Just remembering that the form needs to be provided to timekeeper 1 so that they can complete it and then pass it on to scorer 1 at the end of the game. As I mentioned, timer 2 responsibilities changed last year, and that will continue again this year. So other than recording the score and the time on the scoreboard, they will also need to call the goals. And it's important that the calling format's followed as set out here. So it's the team, the position, and either in or out, depending on whether the goal is shot or is unsuccessful. And if it is a penalty, so the whistle's gone and it is a penalty, then that is inserted between the position and the in or out. That's the standard calling practice, and we encourage that everybody uses that format throughout the games. Other than that, we've got the rolling subs down there, which I think we've sort of all gone through that. The substitution should take place basically at the transverse line. The umpires are in control of that anyway, but that's the area that scorer 2 will need to be looking at to see when the changes are taking place and recording it appropriately.
That's right. Yeah, the team benches will still be set up in the COVID layout, and score benches, like Michelle said, one behind the other at venues that can cater for that, or a longer bench with venues that can't have 2, but long enough to allow for the physical distancing. So Hobart and Kingston will have the one behind the other, and Silverdome and Ulverston, as I understand it, have the longer layout. I haven't been to Ulverston. It's my big dream for this year. Got huge dreams. Get to
Have you
Ulverston.
been to St Helens?
I haven't. No, I'd like to go there too.
Oh, good. Well, neither have I, so that'll be an interesting.
Okay, maybe I'll go there for a recce.
Oh, St Helens is lovely.
Mm.
Mm.
No, they sound very nice on the phone. They sound
Oh, yeah,
organised. I love their stadium.
Excellent.
But it might be nice to go and visit first.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right. Is there
Sure, we'll
anything
work it
else
out.
on the website that is good for us to go through, or
I don't think so. We probably need to show the score bench manager role description and liaisons
checklist?
again. That's something new. So
yes, this is new. Just introduced this season, and it's essentially the key parts out of the operations manual for each role that has actions to fulfill on the day. So the match day manager is not a score bench position, but they'll make sure all the venues are set up and that it's compliant with the needs. Home game responsibilities, this doesn't happen on the day. These are the things that happen in the lead up to hosting a home game. So the clubs that are in charge on Saturday and Sunday should have had a read through of this and make sure they're across all the requirements. And hopefully might have given me a call by now if they had any questions. So score bench manager, this is where we've got our little checklist to go through, and it just really highlights the areas of crossover with key stakeholders to make sure that everyone that's relevant to an action is across it at the right time. So the bench manager's got quite a few roles, probably the most out of everyone that has responsibilities on the day. So it's pretty critical, but I think this paperwork does just set out and keep you on track and help remind, particularly for people that are newer to the score bench managing role. So Patsy, it's probably no use for you, but it's nice to have there. But, so if we just have a bit of a look through, it is pretty straightforward, but it's designed for everyone's awareness, not just the experts. It's to help everyone get started and for the key stakeholders to have a bit better understanding of the requirements of other roles that they maybe don't fulfil, just so they know the importance of sharing the workload to make sure the game runs smoothly and safely, which is the dream.
Kirsten, I think the forms these set out are excellent. They really are good because it gives a clear distinction of what everyone's got to do and gives them a checklist, as you say.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you. No, appreciated. It's good feedback. So obviously these can be updated through the year if we start using them for home games and clubs identify that there's things missing or there's things out of order or there's something on there that we just don't do anymore, then we can absolutely update them, and that's the beauty of having everything on the website. It's 20 minutes, I can fix up the form and reload it, and then it's accessible to everyone statewide. So I think it's a good way forward to make sure that we're all operating with the same guidelines.
it's good.
Michelle, can you just confirm the RAC insurance form? Who's meant to sign it? Because I know that the bench manager does when you check the courts, but then some tell me the umpire does when you go to the umpire to sign it.
Match day manager does.
Match day manager and the umpires. So the match day manager fills it out. They do all of the ticking of the boxes and they sign it, but the umpires also have to sign off on it after they've checked the court.
The umpires need to know that, because sometimes I go to the umpire and they just say it's not our responsibility.
I did explain to John and Marge, and if we look down, I've actually made the umpires their own checklist.
Oh, good.
Not that they'll love this, but they've got it anyway, and it does include check the court for hazards and sign the V Insurance safety form.
Oh, good, that's fine then.
So they've certainly got this copy and should be aware of it. And at the umpire pre-season meetings, we talk this through. So it shouldn't come as a surprise. It may still, but don't worry, they received this.
That's fine then.
So,
No, it's no longer your responsibility, Liz.
No, it's out of your hands.
Great, that, I don't mind that.
Yep. I think that's good news too.
Mm.
Score bench managers have got enough on their plate. Like I said, their
Exactly.
list is the longest.
I
Bit.
think so. I think
Give something away
We're there first and last.
and you
So,
leave last. Absolutely.
Exactly.
You don't need anything else. No, very good. So I would say this is probably the last bit of critical information from the website. Stoppage form, player change, team less discipline, voting slips.
No, actually, we haven't got ever. Oh, I'll have to download my voting slips. I haven't done that yet.
Oh no, they're in the envelopes. So in your team kit, there's a smaller envelope inside the big one,
Oh, is
and
there?
and
Right.
the voting slips are in them.
Oh, you're hiding them. I didn't look in them.
I've just got everything so well packaged, you wouldn't even know.
Jeez. Oh, well, I didn't, obviously.
Okay, well, it's working. That's good.
Now, the other one, the new scorer 2 sheet, we haven't got that.
No, I've got them printed out to give to you on the weekend.
Oh, good, good, good.
So the northern clubs have got theirs and Devon got theirs, but I've got 40 or 80 copies printed out ready to give to the southern clubs on the weekend.
Good. And that won't be a thingamabob. It's only one sheet. It's not
Yeah,
a
not in triplicate. It's just one sheet.
after. Yep.
But if clubs want to take a photo of it, they're welcome to.
Okay.
Same with media. If they're there and they want to write something for their
Mhm.
article, their review, they're welcome as well.
Okay. No worries. Good.
all good.
Sounds good.
I think it sounds like we know what we're talking about, kind of,
Kind of, in a roundabout sort of way.
in a roundabout sort of way.
Mhm. Good, some- Good.
Any other questions about school bench or?
No, we're fine.
Michelle, do we have to have passes, like how they're doing the passes for players and coaches and stuff? Does Score Bench have to have passes?
Well, I guess if they don't have passes, they'll be paying to get in. So I guess that's a club responsibility.
Is that Nadine speaking?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't recognise everyone's voices. I can't see
Sorry.
all the little squares.
I've actually got a bit of tonsillitis, so
Oh,
I'm on
no,
sick. So,
no. Keep
so
that
my
to
voice is
yourself.
funny.
Sorry. Did you not receive yours? I believe I sent it to Lisa to forward on.
I don't think so, unless it's in the box of paperwork. But I haven't
We're
had a
doing
look through it
digital
yet.
cards this year,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't be in the box.
Oh, right. Okay.
Let me just have a look. If everyone just doesn't mind sharing this screen for a minute. Let me look at my Devon designs. You were certainly.
I think she's asking about the score bench people on the, like, you know, the score bench, the scorers and the timers. Do they need to have a
Yeah.
pass? We usually just give the names to our door.
Or bench staff. If they're just on, if they're regulars, they can have a pass.
Mm. Yeah, we just give the name to the bench, to the door.
Yes.
So no.
Yeah, anyone that's on the workforce will be able to talk their way in, because especially for a home game, because it'll be your home volunteers on the door. So it shouldn't be too hard to talk your way past them. But if there are any problems, I'm happy to make extra cards and get things sent around. So we can certainly arrange that if that's what you're after.
No worries. Thank you.
Whichever way you want to go ahead, Glenelle or Lisa can let me know and I'll sort something out.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
You printed me one out, so I don't have to bring out the phone all the time.
No, no.
Everyone knows
It's on
me
your
anyway.
phone. I can't do it.
Right, so we're probably all geared up for a big weekend of scoring and timing and subbing and
Winning and
watching netball, winning, getting bonus points,
oh, yeah.
percentage boosts, all those kind of things.
Mhm.
What's the balance one?
I'm
So-
most excited to start entering data again.
I bet you are. Just to let everybody know, I will be in Hobart this weekend for the 2 days. So I did have a conversation with Cripps a couple of weeks ago. I'll get back in the beginning of March about whether they needed some assistance for their score bench.
Yes, I need assistance.
Yes, that's
Yep.
he's on the big job.
Not a problem. So I'll be
I have
there for
been,
the first
I have
game,
been,
so.
I've been conned, I think. No, I'm happy to help.
Oh, Sharon, you didn't tell me that
Oh,
part.
dear. Well, I'll catch up with you, Sonia, when I get there, and
Yep.
we'll work through what we need to do. So
Yep, that'd be
that's all
great.
good.
Thank you.
No problems at all.
Michelle, do you need me at all on Saturday?
Do I need you, Liz? I don't know if
okay.
clubs need you.
Yeah, you, Corona.
So who are you working with this year?
Nobody at the moment.
Silly
No
question.
one at the moment.
Arrows, of course.
Right.
Arrows have
Yep.
got the bye on Saturday. So Liz will be busy
Okay.
on Sunday, but he's available on Saturday, I think is the message here.
Okay. All right. Liz, I would be more than happy to see you there on Saturday if you are free to do so.
I can just do that for you.
Thank you. I'll have a chat to you about sort of the upcoming roster as well.
Hi, it's Jane here from Karana. We'd probably like some help as well, please.
Lovely.
Yep. No problems.
Thank you.
So who's your bench manager?
We've got a mixture of them.
Okay.
Yep. I'm doing part of Saturday and Sunday, but I'll be
Right.
there. Yep.
Okay. All right. That's Jane, is it?
Yep.
Okay. Jane, I'll catch up with you as well. Your games
Okay.
start a bit later after Christmas?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be
Yeah.
there
Perfect.
just after 3:30
Yeah.
time slot for 19s. So
All right. No worries. I'll catch up with you as well.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
and Liz, that might be where you're handy when there's 2 games running at the same time.
Okay,
So we can
Indeed.
get a bit of support on both courts.
okay. I'll have
That'd
a
be
look at
great,
what
thank
time
you.
they- What time
Yeah.
they start.
That'll be the 3:30 and the 5 o'clock games.
Okay,
That's
No
it.
worries.
Time.
Yeah. And the other thing is that if you have people that are interested in doing a bench accreditation, whether that be state or national or whatever, please make sure that you let Kirsten and myself know so that we can do what we need to do to get them assessed. We do, Netball Tas are hosting the National Netball Championships at the beginning of July. And it is the responsibility of the hosting state to provide the score bench officials. So we really need to have lots of people available. There's 6 days of competition. I think that's right, isn't it, Kirsten?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. With morning and afternoon sessions on those days. So the more people we can have with the qualification that are available to volunteer throughout those championships, the better. So it's in Hobart. So we'd like to hope that there's lots of people in Hobart that can help out.
You can get
Um,
involved on the website. Go
Yes,
and get involved.
it.
And then the National Netball Championships
There we go.
2021.
that's it. Yep.
Michelle,
I've
like
already identified a
shameless
few
plug.
Northerners that are coming down. So they've made bookings and accommodations. So we need some help from our Hobartians as well, please. Or anywhere else in the state.
Michelle, I'm happy to run any practical sessions if any of the clubs want one.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Liz.
Go through Kirsten, you can contact me. Any night except Tuesday.
Righto, can do. That'd be great.
Fantastic.
What about our accreditations?
Mhm.
I'm sure mine's run out.
Okay.
We
I'm
did a
not
check
bothered.
at the end of last year, didn't we, Michelle?
Yeah.
But and I did do a lot of updating, but there were the problems with syncing from LMS and into My Netball.
Correct. Yeah.
And My Netball, I'm not sure that everyone's aware, but My Netball's only around for the rest of this year, and we're moving to a new platform in 2022.
Oh,
Um,
just got it all sorted.
It comes with
That's
tech.
usually the way.
We'll get our own tech that'll go to all the clubs and associations in the state to help. So that's a plus of the new system, that we'll get a pro IT person that'll help us run it. I'll do what I can with my netball, but there are some flaws in the system to get a report up and running, and we might need to do some rare creds, Michelle, throughout the year rather than full assessments.
Yep.
That's achievable, Yvonne, but I'll certainly push something out to Michelle about accreditations. I may not get to it over the next 2 days, but next week I'll have it on my list.
Good day. Mhm. Thank you.
All good.
Excellent.
Well, I don't think I've got anything else I need to impart. So
No, I think I've shared all my, I don't know if you can call it wisdom, but all my things. Anything I can think of, I've shared.
that's it.
Michelle, are they going to have to be accredited to be on the Nationals bench, or just someone who has been on our benches and know what they're doing?
This.
It's
I wish
actually
I
quite
had a
big
clear
question
answer on
you
that
asked,
one, but the Netball Australia requirements are that yes, they are accredited. We have had offers from interstate for some officials that will be travelling down to assist, but I think we will still be way short of what we need on our current the current level of accreditations.
We haven't got much
with
time
people
really to put anyone through, have we?
No, well, that's right, and that's why I'm keen to, hear from people and get them accredited, particularly if people are able to volunteer for nationals. If somebody wants to get accredited and they're putting their hand up to also help out with the nationals, then I will actually do their accreditation before I'll do somebody else's.
Fair enough.
Particularly this year,
Yep.
for the reason that we need the volunteers. So,
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay.
all right.
Yes.
Right, that's probably us. I reckon the party's probably over.
Okay.
Well, we
Unless
didn't
there's
have the
anything
wine
else
and
from anybody?
cheese. Come on, where's the wine and cheese?
Oh, it's not that kind of party, Yvonne. This is very
I'm
serious.
still at the
Oh,
netball.
sorry
centre,
about that.
Yeah.
I'll have mine when we finish then.
Yeah, good on you.
All right.
Good day. Thank you very much.
Right,
Thank you
yeah,
very
thank
much.
you,
Everybody.
I'll see most
Thank
people
you.
over
Bye.
the weekend.
Night,
Look forward
all.
to it.
See you on court.
See you later. Bye.
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 Thank you.
I hope you don't mind, Blair and Jane. We'll just, Michelle and I can just have a quick debrief with you on mute. I'll stop our screen recording.